everybody, and welcome to today's coffee lecture. We, from the Research Data Network of the University of Basel, started a series with coffee lectures on infrastructures and tools for research data management in the spring semester. And now in the beginning of the fall semester, we would like to continue with a second series. And today we have Iris Lindenmann with us. Iris works at the University Library, and she will give us a talk on re3data. So welcome, Iris, and I hand over to you.
Thank you, Christina, for the introduction. As you said, our topic today is re3data. What is re3data? It is a global registry of research data repositories that covers research data repositories from different academic disciplines. It includes repositories that enable permanent storage of and access to data sets to researchers, funding bodies, publishers, and scholarly institutions. re3data promotes a culture of sharing, increased access, and better visibility of research data. What is re3data not? re3data is not a metadata search engine for research data sets. So, for example, there exist such search engines such as the Research Data Connectome, which is at the moment a project driven by Switch. Then there is DataCite and Google Dataset Search. And re3data is not a register of somehow evaluated repositories. So for example, it is not evaluated if all repositories listed in re3data are enabling fair repositories or non-profit repositories. Repositories that are listed in re3data have to be run by a legal entity. There must be clarified access conditions and terms of use for the data in those repositories. And the repositories must have focus on research data. So these are the conditions for repositories to be listed in re3data, but there is no evaluation of other things that the repositories have to fulfill. What is the history and the partners of re3data? re3data has started in 2012. It is funded by the German Research Foundation. And in March 2013, re3data and another directory of research data repositories, DataBib, merged to one single service. And this is all under the head of DataCite now, or since 2015, it is under the head of DataCite. In 2020, the German Research Foundation funded a project, the so-called re3data community-driven open reference for research data repositories, the COREF project, and it covers a period of 36 months. The project partners of re3data are the Berlin School of Library and Information Science at the Humboldt University of Berlin, then the Helmholtz Open Science Office at the GFZ German Research Center for Geosciences, the KIT Library at the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, and the libraries of the Purdue University. The KIT Library and the Purdue University are the chairs or are chairing re3data. And the German partners are actively involved in the German Initiative for Network Information, DINI. Furthermore, there is an international editorial board which supports re3data. Of course, all the information about the repositories has to get into re3data, and the most difficult thing is to have an overview of all developments in the landscape of repositories. There are all the time new repositories coming up, others disappear or change their focus or institutional affiliation, etc. And it's difficult to internationally have an overview of all these things happening. And to be able to keep this in view, there is this editorial board, which is made up of international members. And as you can see, the University of Basel is also represented, and we represent Switzerland in this editorial board. In addition, the editorial board advises the management of re3data. There are also irregular workshops for the further development of re3data, which are currently financed by this COREF project, which is financed by the DFG, the German Research Foundation. Here on this map, you can see which from which countries there are repositories represented in re3data. This is more or less all over the world. The green ones have entries or have repositories that are registered in re3data. The blue ones do not have any entries in re3data. As you can see, the blue color concentrates on the Global South and the Middle East and Central Asia. One of the reasons is that we do not have covered these regions within the editorial board, and adding repositories to the registry is, of course, questions of knowing those repositories and the questions of understanding the language of the repository. Not all green-colored countries are well represented in re3data. For example, Kazakhstan is, for example, green, but it has just one repository listed in re3data. From the start page, you have the option to search repositories by name or keyword, but you can also just use browsing or filtering functions. We will, in a few minutes, have a look at it live on the website. The search results gives you short information on the repositories. So if you have a search result, so you enter, for example, a search term to the first page, or you just press the enter button, so you get these results. And the first information is the name of the repository. Then you have the subjects being covered by the repository. Here it is a wide range because this repository, Zenodo, is an interdisciplinary repository. Then you have the information on the content types of the data being contained in the repository. Then you have information on the country, which means where is the repository located, or where the institution is located that provides the repository. And you have a short description about the repository. And now I would like to hint you to these icons, these colorful icons on the right side. These icons can help you to evaluate if the repository is enabling fair data publication. So these are again those icons, and if it is this green one, really green and not gray, then the repository provides additional information on its services. If it is this orange one, then the repository provides open access to its data. If you have this copyright icon, the terms of use and the licenses provided by the repository are defined. If you have this blue one, there can also be another other abbreviation in it, but it has to be blue. Then the repository uses persistent identifiers to make its provided data persistent, unique, and citable. If you have this red point, the repository is certified or supports a repository standard. And if you have this paragraph icon, the repository provides a policy. And if you now map this to the FAIR principles, we have here on the right side what you need to make your data fair, and you can map these icons to it, so you can see that for findability, a persistent identifier is necessary, and if you have the blue button, then this is possible in this repository. And for findability and accessibility, you have to make your data, you have to publish your data, or you have to publish your metadata. And this is what this orange button gives you information about it, if this is possible. The restrictions of access are defined. So this is what you get with the copyright icon. For the interoperability, standardized controlled vocabularies and open common data formats are necessary. So this is not really covered with these icons, but for interoperability, it can also be helpful if the repositories follow a specific standard. So the data being uploaded and the metadata being uploaded to those repositories can be merged with other data sets or with data from other repositories. So this also might help to make your data interoperable. And for the reusability, you again need the licenses. This is the copyright icon. You need documentation, and in this case, it would be documentation about the repository. This is the green button. It gives you information on the repository, but this is also very helpful for the data being uploaded to the repository, because if you don't know what kind of data is in a repository, you might not find or search for it for the data set in the repository. And the paragraph button provides you information on the policy of the repository. So now we have we go live into the repository and have an overview of the search functions. So first you get this first page, the landing page. You can enter, for example, the name of a repository if you would like to search for it. So I entered before Zenodo, and now you can search for it, but you can also just press this search button and you get all repositories being listed in re3data. You can see that there are 2,960 repositories listed at the moment at re3data. On the left side, you have filter options. So you can here filter, for example, for content types. Then you would like to have just repositories that provide images. And then you get here in your shortlist, you get just repositories where you can upload images. There's also a browse function. Here you can browse by subject. Actually, it's the same as the filter option here on the left side. But this is a really long list, so it might be easier to use this browsing function and have this nice overview, and then you can just press on these colors. If you are from life sciences and from medicine and are looking for a specific repository for medicine, you can use this browsing function and get here again a short list of the respective repositories. You can also browse by content type. Again, this is the same list as the filtering list on the left side in the search view. And you can browse by country. This is this map that you have seen before. And here you can, by a mouse over, see how many repositories are listed from the respective countries. You can also suggest repositories for being added to re3data. This is actually open to everyone. If you know a repository that you think that should be listed here, you can just put the name of the repository in this fields and the URL. You need a short description, but you can copy it from the web page of the repository. And you have to add your email address, so you will be contacted if the repository will be added to re3data or not. You have other options to add more information, but you don't have to add more information to this shortlist. And here you have other resources. Here is this metadata schemas of re3data and the last 3 versions of it. You have access to an API, and you have access to all data that are listed in re3data via this API. There are also metrics, so you can here see, for example, which certificates are mainly used by certified repositories, or which keywords are the most commonly used. No. Well, usually it works, but maybe my internet connection is not stable. And now it works. Okay, you see the multidisciplinary is the most often used keyword. So, and you have further resources. You have a FAQ. Here you can see again those icons with more detailed information about all these icons. And you have here again the information about the editorial board. Here are listed some publications, and you have the about page. And of course, you can contact the team of re3data, which is mainly situated in Karlsruhe. So that's it from my side. If you have questions, you can put them into the chat.
Yeah, thank you so much, Iris. There are no questions yet, but we wait a little time. If somebody of the attendees has some questions, you can write them in the chat and I will read them out loud. So there are no questions. I think we finished then. Thank you again, Iris. It's very informative, and thank you for attending today's coffee lecture, and have a nice afternoon. Bye.
Bye.